Tennis, it's very easy to get down, very easy to get negative, very easy to complain. So I'm going to give you 3 very important tips. For mental toughness, number 1, it's easy to say stay positive, but you have to stay positive. Think positive thoughts. Think good things. What a great day. I'm moving great. I'm feeling great. My racket feels great. I'm glad it's just restrung. I'm playing where I love to play. Think positive thoughts. Second, don't complain. Whenever you complain, you create negative thoughts in your brain. It slows down your process for progress. And it creates excuses. So it makes you want to miss. It makes you want to make more errors. So think positive thoughts. Don't complain. And last thing is enjoy. Tennis is supposed to be fun. So don't get mad out there. Don't complain. Don't throw your racket. Enjoy what you're doing. If you make a mistake, laugh about it, because that's what you're supposed to do. Remember, tennis is a game. It's not just a sport. It's a game. So enjoy it. Have fun. Play with people you like. If you like competing, compete. If you don't like competing, practice. If you do it just for the joy of playing, enjoy playing. Don't try to make it something it's not. So have fun on the court. Quick pro tip here. When you're hitting a forehand and you want to generate more power, try not to muscle the ball. If you squeeze the racket too hard and you try to force the swing, you're not going to generate as much acceleration. Even if you feel like you're trying to put all your energy into it, you're not going to get the most out of the ball. To get the most out of the ball, you want to create big circles by creating a lot of acceleration and a long arm. Getting tight, muscling, will only make you contract and keep short arms. Short arms don't create power. Long arms create power. How do you create long arms? By extending your arm. It doesn't have to be locked. Shouldn't be locked. And it shouldn't be completely contracted. It should be extended. Now, also, when you're trying to muscle up, you'll notice your legs will tighten up as well. So your hips won't turn as fast. Good hip, shoulder, and arm acceleration will happen when you're nice and loose. So try not to muscle up. Stay loose. If you need to jump up and down before the point and stay loose, then do that. But don't muscle up. Don't get tight. Stay relaxed. Swing through the ball and follow through. Make sure that after matches and before matches, you stretch and you warm up. You can do both. Dynamic stretching and static stretching. Dynamic stretching is when you're actually doing an exercise and at the same time stretching. Like lunges are great dynamic stretches. Sometimes just putting one foot out and holding the stretch. A static stretch is also a great exercise. So you want to make sure you do both before and after your matches so you can see the real benefits, and you will see benefits. So it's very important you do those things. Now, besides that, for recovery, you want to make sure that you always foam roll. Why is foam rolling so useful? When muscles get really tight and they're tired, you can speed up the recovery by rolling on a foam roller for your lower back, for your legs, and those muscles get loosened up again. So then they are more elastic. By being more elastic, you'll be able to run faster again and move quicker, which will allow your hands to do their job. But if your legs are tired and slow, then you're going to notice your swings are going to be sloppy and you're getting in bad positions you don't want to be. So keep those feet nice and loose and light by stretching and foam rolling. Conditioning. Now, how do you get your body prepared to have a more offensive, a more powerful forehand? Well, very easy. What you want to do is you want to keep a light body, a light frame, quick feet, and being able to stay in shape to continue doing it. How do you do that? If you're not necessarily in great shape, well, what you want to do is add a little bit of running into your regimen. You don't have to do a lot. 5-minute jog is more than enough for a lot of people. That'll loosen up your legs. It gets the motor running, just like a train. Once the locomotive gets going, it's hard to get it to stop. That's what you want to do with your body. If you just get it on the go, on the move, you're going to notice you're going to move much quicker and much faster without necessarily going from 0 to 100. Another great thing you can do is cycling. Cycling is very good, or bicycling. It loosens up the legs. It forces your legs to kind of get into the rhythm of bringing up the knees and pushing back, bringing up the knees and pushing back. It's another great exercise you can do. One of my favorites is lunges. Lunges are great because it's part dynamic stretch, and it's also part an exercise that you're going to do often on the tennis court. And the better you do, the easier it is to move to the sides and to get down on low balls. Now, for a proper lunge, try to make sure you spread your legs apart. You keep your back straight. If you want to put your arms up as you stretch, or arms out in front, or arms behind your hand, behind your back, that's perfectly fine. Try to make sure that when you do your lunges, you keep your front knee nice and straight, not tilting over and past your toe. Walking lunges are perfectly fine, where you walk and you lunge, walk and you lunge. Also for conditioning, doing a little bit of either light weights, bands, or my favorite, using your body weight. Push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, core exercises. Those are some of the best exercises you can do for conditioning. A lot of the pros also like to train on the beach because of the resistance level there is on the sand. Also, working with medicine balls is a great thing to do. It strengthens your core, it strengthens your back muscles, and it strengthens your forearm muscles because you have to hold the ball so it doesn't fall off. Doing it against the wall or doing it with a partner is a great idea. That's also a great thing to do. Now, for conditioning, swimming is also great for your lungs, but you want to make sure you don't do it before the match. Try to make sure you keep your muscles nice and loose before the match, but not too loose where you actually cause an injury. So consider swimming on off days or swimming after practices so it doesn't affect your game. Now, the last and most important thing is sprints. For sprints, interval training is and will always be one of the best ways to train. In tennis, you're always hitting and playing, and then you're taking a break. Going back, checking your strings, waiting for your opponent to set up the serve, or you're setting up the serve, and then you go again. That's called interval training, where you have a break and then you work. You break, sprint, wait, break, and run. So that's how you should actually be training. So for sprints, you want to make sure that you start with short sprints. So you run a short sprint, and then you can jog or walk another short sprint and walk, and try to do that for 30 seconds, for a minute. When you feel more comfortable, extend that, make it a little bit longer. Possibly add some push-ups into it so you make it a cross training and interval training where it becomes more realistic as to what you're going to really be doing on the court. Now, sidestepping and crossover steps are very beneficial for forehands because you're going to be able to run around the court quicker when your feet are naturally already get in position. So for forehands, crossovers, going like this across the court just for your warm-up, and sidestepping will greatly benefit your forehand. So try to do those exercises as well. Those are my main tips for conditioning. Visualization is very important in your matches. Thinking about what you need to do before the match will make a big difference during the match. It's basically planning in your mind what you want to do or what you want it to look like when you go on the court. A lot of people that go on the court, they don't know what they're doing, they didn't plan ahead, so then when they get to the match, they're guessing and trying to figure out things in the middle of things. And then they end up going to third sets or losing matches against people they should have never lost to. So you want to make sure you close your eyes, you find a quiet place the night before or before your match, just sit down and go over your swings. How would I like to swing the ball? Novak Djokovic always says that before his matches, he always tries to think how he wants to return the ball. He tries to imagine as many points of contact as possible where he would be returning the ball so that when he goes on the court, he gets as many returns of serve as possible as back in. Many of the past champions have also mentioned that visualization has been a major part of their game. So try to make sure you get good at it, you practice it. If you don't practice, you don't get better. So you want to make sure you work on it as much as possible and try to be as specific as possible when you visualize. So you're not just hitting a forehand, you're hitting a forehand to their backhand. And then as soon as the ball comes back, you're coming into the net and you're finishing with a confident volley. Is it a high volley? Is it a low volley? Is it out in front? Are you putting a little bit of slice on that volley? Is it going to the corner? Is it landing on the line? Is it landing in? Be specific. That'll help you visualize and prepare better for a real match situation. Hydration is very important in tennis. You're going to run, you're going to sweat, you're going to get dehydrated. So you want to make sure you prepare in advance. How do you prepare in advance? Well, you want to make sure that you take and drink some water the night before and before practicing or playing your match. Water is a great substance that you need to hydrate with. Coconut water is also great, and if you add some electrolytes, that's perfectly fine. If you don't have high blood pressure, adding some salt will help prevent cramps. Also, coconut water prevents cramps. When it's a natural coconut water, it's one of the best sources to prevent cramps. Another good source of food that will prevent cramps is or are bananas, prunes, raisins, those are all great sources. Try to make sure you take those before your matches, and try to make sure you're always hydrated before. When you're playing your match, try not to chug down the whole bottle in the middle of the match. Try to make sure you take short sips so that your body can assimilate the water as you play or as you're walking up and down the court. Instead of running with a lot of water where you're going to feel that water jiggle in your tummy and then not be able to run as fast and not feel as comfortable or even get stomach aches. Now, in terms of food, if you're the type of person that can eat through a match or during a match, that's perfectly fine. If you're not, don't force it. If you want to eat slowly but surely, you can as well. If you like to snack on stuff like bananas or power bars or protein bars, granola bars, any of that is perfectly fine. Just try to make sure you don't overdo it. I don't suggest artificial sugars like chocolates because you'll notice that a lot of the pros like Djokovic, they'll take dates or prunes to their match so that they have a natural form of energy instead of going through the artificial form of energy. So think about that before your match, plan in advance, and focus on doing what's best for your body.